Thank you, Johan, for announcing me, but certainly thank you, Carsten, for really paving the way for me to continue to speak about AAK, how we're doing, how we work on our strategy going forward, and so forth. I hope you all appreciated getting a bit more knowledge about oils and fats, because that is really what we do, right? And that is where we excel. So thank you, Carsten. You make my life a bit easier now and try to kind of tie it together to our earnings, to how we drive our company forward. So with that, let's get to it. I think it's fair to say, and everyone knows, the last 1.5, 2 years it's a time, an unprecedented time. It's been challenging, it's filled with uncertainty, we have cost inflation, we have disturbances, all right? And they are still here. I said before, kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. When you look at AAK, I do think that you see that we have been able to manage. We have been able to really maneuver in some difficult waters, navigate. We have had early on contingency plans, a decentralized organization, an agile organization that made it possible for us to continue to operate. So in the beginning of COVID, it was all about staying safe, not getting infection into our company, to our employees and to families, but also knowing that we are an important part of the global food supply chain. Like you just heard from Carsten, we are feeding the world with our ingredients, the oils and fats. So important that we, like medical and hospitals, continue to operate. So immediately we focus on how do we keep our plants running. And through contingency plans and agile and decentralized organization, we were able to do that. So in short, AAK has shown its strength in the organization. And lately, as we sum up the last quarter, a 2021 perspective, we are also now back. We're earning money. We're earning more than we did before. The business is going well, although still in a very dynamic environment. But if you look from a pre-COVID perspective to now, we have that growth that we have had in AAK for quite some time. Very proud of the organization, very proud how we have delivered through this. When we look at AAK, we have a business that we report into 3 different business areas: food ingredients, chocolate and confectionery fats, and technical products and feed. You heard a bit from Carsten. Within food ingredients, we deliver solutions to dairy products, bakery products, infant formulas or special nutrition, plant-based food, to name a few. In chocolate and confectionery, it is about replacements for cocoa butter, as well as advanced solutions for filling fats and spreads. In technical products and feed, we do animal nutrition feed, but also kind of a circular economy way or a sustainable way of taking the fractions that Carsten just talked about. When we fractionate fat into the solutions that are used in certain industries, we also get side streams, some of them non-edible, and we're able to produce solutions for candles, detergents, tires, and who knows what going forward. Really trying to take advantage of everything that we get from our processes and the knowledge that we have about oils and fats. And René will talk a bit more about that later. Some of the solutions that we have, some of the opportunities outside, call it the food ingredient space and the chocolate and confectionery space. We are today about 4,000 employees, a turnover north of 30 billion SEK, and earnings on a rolling 12 basis of 2.3 billion SEK. When we met face to face last time, that is 2 years ago, we launched our new strategy, where we concluded that we are in a good space. The space of oils and fat, advanced ingredients, plant-based oils and fats, is a good space to be in. But we declared that we need to be more precise. We launched an industry-focused, portfolio-based strategy with 4 categories: invest for future growth, chocolate and confectionery special nutrition, Optimize performance, bakery, dairy, food service, as well as taking bets for the future around plant-based food and health and nutrition. Also concluding that we deliver to many industries, and in many of them we have a strategy that we don't need to update that much. It really works. Right? That was the claim. So a portfolio-based strategy with the purpose of making us more precise in what we do. Selecting and deselecting, focusing on where we see best opportunities for AAK to deliver value to our customers. And with that, of course, helping us to grow and have a strong, profitable growth. Now, to comment on what have we done so far, and predominantly over the last year. Well, in Invest for Continued Growth around chocolate and confectionery and special nutrition, for example, we have continued our co-development journey around sustainability. We recently announced, together with Mars, one of the global big players in chocolate, we are investing together in West Africa in our women's program around shea that is important as a raw material into chocolate. And you'll hear more about that later from Annemette and Jacob. We have also expanded in terms of market reach. We have invested also in our backbone in Aarhus, Denmark, as a component factory, so increasing capacity, investing in that. Same thing in special nutrition. We recently opened up the doors to our new plant in China for OPO, an important ingredient for infant nutrition. That came really timely because the market is growing in China with the Chinese players taking more and more over from the multinational players in infant nutrition. So well-timed investment for us. Carsten mentioned DHA. We just entered into a partnership to add new ingredients to our portfolio, making our offering around special nutrition better to our customers. Optimizing performance. We recently announced that we are consolidating capacities in Europe, taking 3 plants and consolidating volumes from 3 plants into 2 around bakery. That is to optimize our cost structure to have a better play. We're also working with product management, price management, and the portfolio of products that we supply in bakery and dairy to optimize, in essence, our earnings at the end of the day. Optimization is about optimizing cost structure, yes, but it's also about us being more precise and selecting those segments within bakery and dairy where AAK has the best solutions, where we can do the value-added solutions to our customers rather than offering kind of high volume, more commoditized type of solutions. Same thing in food service, streamlining a bit and right-sizing, a bit taking the advantage of the COVID situation where volumes were down quite significantly, taking that opportunity to right-size and streamline our food service business. In the bets for the future, health and nutrition is going to be key. It's key today and it's going to stay. For us, it's about developing portfolios that we can supply through the other industries that we have, making a chocolate more healthy, making a baked goods healthier, getting a better nutritional content into an infant formula, etc. Around plant-based food, we have invested into a venture capital fund, Big Idea Venture, to get closer to innovations, closer to new customers. We have entered into a partnership structure around Mista, where we have ingredient peers, a bit like Carsten mentioned also. How do we get closer to protein, flavors, fragrances, and how do these components interact in order to produce better plant-based food for the future? And last but not least, we are investing in a center of excellence, a customer innovation center in the Netherlands, to be able to take our customers through a culinary experience about how to make plant-based food better. In essence, doing what we are doing in chocolate, infant formulas, bakery, and dairy. Within Maintain Current Strategy, we continue to invest in natural emulsifier. We made an acquisition to add more lecithin into our portfolio, strengthening our position in Europe on lecithin. That is an adjacent ingredient that we have added to AAK. We have in personal care improved our position in US to help grow that market, as well as we have within technical products and feed really stepped up with an upcycling in candles that we just heard about. These are all efforts that helps AAK grow on many pillars. Speaking about pillars, and I think many of you, investors as well as analysts, have been asking about more granularity, especially maybe around food ingredients. So today we show a bit of the volume breakdown that we have. CCF is the CCF as we report it. Within food ingredients, as I mentioned, bakery, industrial food service, dairy, special nutrition, plant-based food, etc. The message with this page is that AAK, we have many legs to stand on. There are many pillars that build up our total turnover and certainly our total earnings. Dynamics within these industries are different. They are different in terms of consumer demand. They are different in terms of the opportunities for us to earn money. That's for sure. But this is a bit the breakdown that we have as of now. But maybe more interestingly, how are these now developing? So these are now delta year on year. And this shows a bit that we are delivering on our strategy. You can see that we have significant growth within chocolate and confectionery. Plant-based food, candle waxes, very strong growth, very much on the back of sustainability as well as health. All right? And clearly within our focus on how to drive AAK forward. You can see that we have lower growth in bakery, dairy, and even industrial solutions, which are more commodity plays. We have a reduced volume. So this is to show a bit the dynamics underneath the surface. Clearly, a way of showing us how we deliver on our strategy and focusing on high growth segments as well as segments where we have an opportunity to really supply high value added solutions. And if you look at just the sum of plant-based food and candles, these are top 4 in terms of absolute numbers even for AAK. So even starting from small numbers, we start to add up and it starts to become something that is important for AAK in terms of the earnings that we generate. So what are some of the trends behind this? What are the consumer trends that drive this, leading to our customers and their needs? To name a few, health and well-being is a given. Sustainability, but also indulgence and premiumization. Now one could argue, and we spoke a little bit about chocolate before, how do we say that we have chocolate and we have health and well-being? How does that stand? Well, we are human beings. We like to have a healthy profile, but we also like to treat ourselves. And that's just the name of the game. And when you combine that, there will still be an opportunity around making food more healthy, making chocolate and confectionery healthier and with a better nutritional profile. And Carsten mentioned a bit about the chemistry behind the oils and fats. And clearly, sustainability is something that is really present, and the demands on every one of us, each and every one of us, are increasing. Annemette and Jacob will speak a bit more about AAK and our sustainability journey. But just to highlight a few things. At AAK, we are committed to live our purpose, making better happen from plant to brand. That is about engaging to transform in the way we source. It is, of course, focusing on our own operations. How do we reduce environmental risks, social risks, and improve the way we operate? And last but not least, better solutions. Better solutions to consumers, to our customers. And I think plant-based food is a very good example. If we can help the population of the world to get food on our plates that is better from a sustainability point of view, the total supply chain, and still are well tasting with a good nutritional profile, then we are helping the change. All right? So we focus on all these 3. Better sourcing, better operations, and better solutions. And I'm so glad to see that in recent weeks, around COP26, we have seen many, many countries standing up behind no deforestation, just like AAK. And we saw recently the European Union also putting a proposal on legislation around no deforestation. Exactly what we have been talking about at AAK. So that really is about joining forces. And we have always said that only together, suppliers, customers, and governments and consumers, we can make it happen. So these are good steps forward. At AAK, M&A has been and continue to be an opportunity to deliver growth. We see M&A going forward as an ingredient for how to deliver on our targets. When we look at M&As, when we fill our pipeline with opportunities, when we screen the market, we are looking for geographical expansion, bolt-on acquisitions of oils and fat refineries that helps us move into a region or expand in a region is clearly in play also going forward. Ideally, we find targets that has a bit of excess capacity that helps us then grow from there. But also more importantly, in order for us to be able to continuously deliver really high value-added solutions, we need technology and capabilities. M&As can be a source of that. And also adjacent portfolios. I just mentioned a bit about lecithin. We have made 2 acquisitions to add lecithin to our portfolio. There might be other ingredients close to oils and fats. We will remain at our core, but there are ingredient spaces just close to oils and fats where we might enter into, either through M&A or through partnerships like we mentioned with DHA or omega-3. That's how we focus on M&A. We have mentioned quite a few times today already our purpose. All right? But I just want to take us back a bit, 2 years. When we launched our updated strategy, one piece of that, an internal piece of that, was we want to make AAK a purpose-driven company. We believe in that force. So one of the first tasks we had at hand was to develop a purpose for AAK. Then came COVID, and I personally felt that how will we be able to kind of get to workshops and really move the needle and get out with a purpose that we can really live and motivate our organization with. But we managed to do that. We engaged more than 1,000 colleagues during COVID, working with the management teams around the world, with the executive committee of AAK, as well as with many colleagues in these greater teams. And we were able to deliver Making Better Happen. And it's already being rolled out. It's already being rolled out in better behaviors, in leadership programs for AAK. How do we want to act? How do we want to behave? And this purpose is really building on who we are, parts of the DNA of AAK, which makes us a bit easier, but it's certainly already living. And it helps us really to get forward, to really help our ambitions come to life. And with that, I think it's about time that we wrap up my part of this presentation. When we look forward, we reiterate our target about growing our earnings, our EBIT or operating profit by 10% year on year. All right? That is a bold target. That is an exponential growth. Those of you who have been with us for some time, you know that our track record tells us that we have done it. All right? Doesn't tell us what we will do in the future. All right? But we know that we have done it and we know that we can do it. Our success going forward rests on 4 pillars. Market growth. We need a bit of underlying market growth and at least grow with the market or then some by taking market share based on our performance. Topping that up with structural growth, with M&As. All right? We are looking at M&As continuously. The market is not that fragmented. There will be a bit on and off in terms of the opportunities, but it's key going forward. Optimization I mentioned in the strategy. Continue to optimize our cost structure. Continue to look at the segments where we are best suited to play. And continue to focus on high value-added solution, where we, with our solution, really bring value to our customers. And with that, we create a better opportunity to earn money and to increase our earnings. And that is the EBIT per kilo that we have been talking about for long. We have a track record of improving our margins in EBIT per kilo. That is delivered through high value-added solutions, through our co-development approach, getting together with customers, helping them improve products for them and for the consumers. That's how we will continue to deliver on our ambition of 10% year on year. Over time, year on year, the proportion of each pillar will differ, but we need them all, and over time, on an average, that's how we will deliver the 10%. All right. With that, Thank you so much for having listened to me, and maybe one or two questions for me before we move on.